Our presentation will be on rabies. The members of this group are myself, Kelton Fortune, and Sarah Dawes. The etiology of rabies. Rabies is caused by the lysovirus that spreads through the saliva of infected animals. This virus affects the central nervous system and can cause inflammation of the brain. Lysoviruses are a genus of RNA viruses that are single-stranded, negative sense, and unsegmented. They are an envelope virus that contains spikes and are rod-shaped. Lysovirus is relatively large at 130 to 250 nanometers in length and 60 to 100 nanometers in diameter. For the reservoir, all species of mammals may be a reservoir for rabies. However, there are a few that are more common than others. The more distinct carriers of rabies viruses are the following animals: bats, raccoons, skunks, foxes, and coyotes. However, this is not an all-inclusive list of all the animals that can be reservoirs for rabies. Humans may also be a reservoir for the rabies virus as well. Typically, for humans to be transmitted with rabies, an infected animal will bite the human. However, non-bite exposures can happen. Scratches, being licked on an open wound, and saliva coming in contact with the eyes, mouth, or nose, or being exposed to infected brain tissues may also cause rabies to be transferred from host to human. Animal transmission is the same as the human transmission. The spread of rabies in the United States is most likely spread from bats, coyotes, foxes, skunks, and raccoons. Although these are the common animals that can transmit rabies, any mammals can become infected and transmit rabies. In rare cases, human-to-human transmission has occurred. If a human is infected and bites another human, transmission may occur. Also, if an infected organ is transplanted, the disease will follow the transplant and the receiver of the donation will become infected.
As soon as the rabies virus enters the body, the virus moves towards the brain along nerves. The first symptoms are nonspecific and resemble other infections. They include pain or tingling at the bite site, a general feeling of illness, headache, nausea, and depression. The first signs of rabies are vomiting and fever. As the virus multiplies in the spinal cord or brain, neurological symptoms might appear, such as follows: anxiety, agitation, confusion, hallucinations, insomnia, paralysis of lower legs, and difficulty swallowing. The later signs would be excessive salivation and hyperactivity. Eventually, an infected individual with the rabies virus can slip into a coma and die. Rabies doesn't cause death by destroying neurons or causing inflammation to the brain, but causes excitotoxicity, which overstimulates the brain and causes the cells to die. Once the signs and symptoms of rabies appear, the disease is almost always fatal, and then treatment is typically supportive. If a person was bitten by a domestic animal, cleaning the wound is the first step. Seek medical attention, then obtain proof of the animal's vaccination records, and if they are up to date, the animal will be quarantined for a period of 10 days to check for any signs of rabies. If a person is bitten by a wild animal or has come in contact with an animal with rabies, immediate medical attention is advised so that a doctor can decide what treatment should be received. First, the wound should be cleaned to help get rid of infection. Next would be a vaccine. For people who have never had a rabies vaccine, human rabies immunoglobulin is administered once at the beginning of anti-rabies prophylaxis, which will provide immediate antibodies until the body can respond to the vaccine and produce antibodies. The vaccine is given at 3, 7, and 14 days post-exposure. To reduce chances of encountering rabies, vaccinate your pets. Cats, dogs, and ferrets can be vaccinated against for rabies. For more information, ask your veterinarian how often your pet should be vaccinated. Keep your pets inside. If you take your pets outside, supervise them to help reduce the chances of encountering rabies. Don't approach wild animals, dead or alive. An animal with rabies may seem unafraid of people, which is uncommon, so stay away. Report any stray animals to local authorities. Keep bats out of your home. Seal up any cracks or holes where bats might get in. If you are traveling to a location where rabies is common, consider a rabies vaccine, especially if medical care is difficult to find. Cute, but they could be deadly. Unfortunately, these cute animals are how humans get rabies. I work for an animal clinic, and one thing I do is give vaccines after a healthy exam has been performed by a doctor. The most dangerous pet is an unvaccinated pet, which unfortunately I fell victim to back in June while vaccinating a cat. An animal bit me, now what? Every animal bite should be reported to animal control, and then the animal needs to be quarantined for a certain period of time and immediately vaccinated with rabies. If the animal was healthy at the time of the bite and no signs of rabies arise within the period, usually 10 days or 6 months, then no anti-rabies prophylaxis is needed. Luckily for me, the cat didn't show any signs of rabies. I've been told by coworkers that the vaccine is extremely painful. So instead of finding out what the vaccine is like, vaccinate your pets and don't approach wild animals.